Welcome. Today we're going to review the practice exercises for unit rates. If you have not gone over the guided notes before this, stop what you're doing, go back and review it. If you have not done a problem, what you are supposed to do is do one problem and then start the video, watch the part going over number one, pause the video, do number two. Once you're done with number two, unpause the video and watch the explanation for number two. You are not supposed to work along the entire way, and you are also not supposed to do the entire worksheet and then stop. So, if you have not reviewed the guided notes, go back and do that now. Otherwise, we'll be getting started. For number one, which of the examples is a unit rate? The correct answers are that Stacy earns $24 per hour, a quart of milk is $2.19 for 1 quart, and Nancy walks 4 miles per hour. A unit rate is, as our note said, a unit rate is going to be when a ratio has one quantity that has been reduced to 1. So that is $24 and 1 hour. That is $2.19, 1 quart, 4 miles, 1 hour. These two are just rates or ratios because they are not simplified to 1 on one side. Moving on to number 2. If you haven't done number 2 yet, pause the video now. For number 2, it takes Miranda 1.5 hours to walk 3 miles. She hikes 6 hours at this constant rate. Which of the following shows the correct comparison of the quantities on a double number line diagram and correctly states the number of miles Miranda will hike during this time? So we have 1.5 hours and 3 miles. So that has 3 miles and 1.5 hours. So that's out. This has 3 miles, 1.5 hours. This has 1.5 for both, and this has 3 miles for 1.5 hours. Okay? So, if we look at what we had done yesterday, going over ratios, each side should be counting by a constant amount. We shouldn't see anything weird happening with the numbers. So the top numbers, we go from 0 to 3. We should be counting by 3 for this entire side. So the top numbers should all be counting by 3. 0, 3, 6, 9, 12. That checks out. The bottom numbers should be counting by 1.5. 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6. That checks out. D is not going to work because we start by counting by 3. 0 plus 3, and then 3 plus 3, we end up at 4.5. That's not what that should be. For some reason, for this option, they started counting and getting some of their numbers crossed. So the correct answer should be B. Number 3, if you haven't done it, pause the video. Mrs. Reynolds' class pays $84 for 12 movie tickets. What is the unit rate per ticket? That's $84 for 12 movie tickets. If you did the notes, you would have hopefully seen my handwritten note explaining that a simpler and quicker way to find unit rate is just to divide. $84 divided by 12 movie tickets is going to give me, I believe that is $7 per ticket. For number 4, a soup recipe has a ratio of 2 pounds of vegetables for 3 quarts of broth. Which of the following shows the unit rate for the amount of vegetables to amount of broth? So 2 pounds of broth and 3 pounds of, or 3 quarts of broth, sorry. 2 pounds of vegetables, 3 quarts of broth. So that is going to be 2 divided by 3. Well, we don't even actually have to solve that because just when we write out 2 divided by 3, we should figure out it's going to be 2/3 of a pound of vegetables per quart of broth. So we'll just look for that answer, 2/3. Right here. Moving on to number 5. The unit price of 20 pounds of potatoes for $2.40. So for this one, it shows that we have dollars per pound. Now, whenever they're asking for unit rate, or whenever you see dollars per pound, anything like that, you're going to need to do your money divided by whatever the other amount is. So your money divided by whatever the other thing is. In this case, we have $2.40, and we're going to divide that by 20 pounds. Now, lucky for you, because you're actually taking the time to watch this video, you'll find out that this unit is calculator active. Unit rate, ratios, all of it, that was all calculator active. So we can do $2.40 divided by 20. So my answer should be 12 cents per pound. Alright. Number 6, Lara can run 12 miles in 2 hours. So okay. So Lara, we have 12 miles in 2 hours. We have Lamont, who can run 10 miles in 2 hours. How much farther can Lara run in 3 hours than Lamont can run in 3 hours? So okay, we actually have to figure this out. The first thing we're actually going to do is we're going to simplify both of these. We're going to find the unit rate, figure out how many miles each of them can run in 1 hour. So Lara, in 1 hour, so let's see, 12 divided by 2, that would be 6 miles per hour. And Lamont, 10 divided by 2, that would be 5 miles per hour. So now that we know how far each of them can run in 1 hour, it should be a lot easier for us to find out how long it takes them to go 3 hours. Or how far they go in 3 hours. See, from here, all we do is do 1 times 3 would be 3. So 6 times 3 would be 18. And 1 times 3, 5 times 3. So let's see. Lara went 18 miles. Lamont only went 15 miles. So how much farther did Lara go? 18 is 3 miles more than 15. That would be my answer to number 6. On the other end, it is talking about data transfers, and let's see now, suppose a 10-second transfer shows 27.5 megabits of data. Which of the following is the unit rate of a data transfer in megabits per second? So this right here, megabits per second, that's going to be how we divide. We're going to take my number of gigabits divided by my number of seconds. So that's 27.5 divided by 10 seconds. Now, if you do this, you should get 2.75 megabits per second, which is pretty terrible. That's not a very fast internet service. Number 8. Little tired this morning. Miss Emily's 5th grade class is going to the zoo on a class trip. The zoo is 125 miles away. If they arrive at the zoo in 2.5 hours, approximately how far is the bus traveling? So, or how fast was the bus traveling? So we're going to do my miles divided by hours. And yes, this is possible. Assuming you have access to the calculator like this, there is a fraction button that you can use. So we have 125 divided by, activate the fraction button, move over so that way you can put in your whole number, move back into the fraction, and then you can enter. So 125 divided by 2.5 gives me 50 miles per hour. For number 9, which day did Maya run the fastest? So, for this problem, we have to actually find the unit rate for each of those days. So we've got Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. We are going to divide our feet by our time to figure out which of those days she was the fastest. So, we'll start with Monday, which is going to be 2,640 divided by 6 minutes. So Monday we got 440. For Wednesday, 3,584 divided by 8 minutes gives me 448. For Friday, we have 2,200 divided by 5, which gives me the same as Monday. And for Saturday, we have 3,164 divided by 7, and that gets me 452. So this is how many feet per minute that she is able to travel. So feet per minute. So if we're looking at feet per minute, the more feet she travels in a single minute means that she went farther in the same amount of time, and that would be the fastest. We want the larger number. For number 10, it gives us all of this information, and it says that Samar, he wants to know how many calories are in each cracker. First, find the number of calories per cracker for each brand. Then decide which of the statements are true, okay? So we are doing calories per cracker. So that means we are going to do calories divided by the serving size. The serving size is going to be how many crackers it takes to get to this number. So by dividing it, we're going to find how many calories it is for just one cracker. So for the first one, we have 75 divided by 10. That should have been 7.5. The next one, we had 120 divided by 15, and that should have been 8. And for the last one, we had 135, and that's divided by 18, and that should have given me 7.5 as well. It then asks us to choose all that apply. It says the number of calories per cracker is the same for salty and cheddar chips. That's true. They are the same. Cheddar chips has the highest number of calories per cracker. That is not true, based on this information. It's actually the tied for the lowest. Salty crackers has the highest number of calories per cracker than cheese crackers. Again, no, that is not correct. Cheese crackers should have more. Cheese crackers have 8 calories each. That is correct. They do have 8 per cracker. And one salty cracker and one cheddar chips cracker together would have a total of 15 crackers, or 15 calories. So that's 7.5 plus 7.5. That does equal 15. So that checks out as well. And the last problem, broken down into 4 parts. It says, what is the unit cost of each light bulb that sells $12.80 for 4? So let's check that out. So $12.80 divided by 4 gives me, it says 3.2. We are not going to write 3.2 because that is not a good dollar amount. we can write $3.20. We can add this 0 to the end. The next one is asking about $14.75 for $5. So $14.75 divided by 5 should have given me $2.95. The next one, $16.50 divided by 6 gives me $2.75. And then it says the package of blank light bulbs is the best buy. Whenever they're talking about best buy, they're not talking about the store. They're talking about which one will be the cheapest, or which one will have the lowest unit price. In this case, it would be the package of 6 light bulbs is the best buy. That is the lowest unit rate. And that's all. This was the practice that went along with the notes, and there will be some more independent practice on Edgenuity after this. Take care.